Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, and in this game we're going to be featuring Sylas. Sylas is the newest champion released right now as of this current video in League of Legends, so he's going to be played by Myth in this game. This is taken from a custom game that we did with 10 people who are followers of the YouTube channel, or just my stuff in general. So in this game, we have myself, I'm going to be jungling as Rammus. We have Phoenix Soulblade, who's going to be supporting as Brand, alongside T-Rex, who's going to be playing as Tristana, and Aponecat, who's in top lane, is going to be playing as Alawi. Then on the red team side, we have Impolite, who's going to be playing as Veigar in mid. We have Lord Donald Trump, who's going to be playing as Misfortune in the bot lane, alongside Morg, who's playing very conveniently for this game as Morgana. And then we have Ball and Brian, who's going to be playing as Kennen in the top lane, and Yell All You Want, he's going to be playing as Jax, and he's going to be jungling as Jax. So let me go ahead and set up the scoreboard so that everybody matches their role in the game. This is one thing that's a little bit annoying about when you queue up for these custom games. It doesn't put everybody in the right spot, so you have to make sure to do that. And if I rewind at any point in time in the video, it will put them back in their original configuration. So I'll probably have to do that once or twice in this video. We've been trying to get a Sylas game for some time now, just because Sylas is the newest champ. Part of the issue with Sylas is he's not the easiest champion to play, in particular with how his ult works, but this is finally a game where we actually have some really good Sylas gameplay as played by Myth. Do not presume that Myth knows exactly what he's doing with Sylas. He was very much making it up as he went along in this game, but it is a good Sylas game, and we'll be able to show that for you in this video. So Sylas, his big thing is he steals enemy ultimates. If you've been following League of Legends recently, you've probably heard that. You're probably aware, if you know nothing else about Sylas, that his ultimate is hijack, and he steals ultimates from people on the enemy team. He has actually been used, even in the limited time he's come out, in some professional games, specifically to steal enemy ultimates that are like game-breakingly powerful. Zilean has been the best example about this. Zilean kind of doesn't have a very good kit as a champion, but his ultimate is what makes him really strong. So hey, you see Zilean on the enemy team, you're like, okay, well, we can get Zilean ult without having to play as Zilean, so we'll take Sylas, and you can use him in situations like that. Has been played mostly in mid, as I understand it. Has also been played in top, has been played occasionally in jungle, but for the most part he seems to be played in mid. He does deal magic damage, not physical damage. Don't be thrown off by the way he looks. He kind of looks like a physical brawler, just based on how his champion is designed, but he actually does deal magic damage, so you will be building him as kind of tanky AP. Not too tanky, but since he's melee, you can't just go 100% damage, or else he's going to die really quickly in these fights. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Sylas abilities here. We've got kind of a quiet laning phase thus far, so we've got time to do that. I will start by highlighting his passive Petrocyte Burst. After casting a spell, Sylas' next basic attack whirls his energized chains around him, dealing magic damage to enemies hit. This is pretty important if you want to play Sylas, is to make use of this passive. So again, anytime he casts a spell, his next auto attack is going to whirl the chains around him and deal extra magic damage to enemies hit. You will see there's like this circular, well, chains whirling effect around him. So just watch. Like right now he dashed, so his next auto attack is going to whirl the chains. And come on, there we go. Myth actually used like 3 abilities in sequence there, so it took a little while. But we did ultimately get to see him use that chain whirl and get the passive effect. So in a way, it's kind of like Sylas always has a sheen on him, or a Lichbane, in the sense that every time he casts a spell, his next auto attack gives you the chain whirl effect. So you do want to take note of that in teamfights. You kind of want to cast a spell, auto attack, cast a spell, auto attack. Now obviously you can't always do that, but if you're trying to maximize his damage, that's kind of what you would want to be doing. So just keep that in mind. Anytime he uses a spell, his next auto attack. So like right there's the chain effect. Gets the chain effect again because he uses another ability. So right there, we actually saw that proc twice because Myth actually used all 3 of his skills. So it could have procced 3 times, but it ended up proccing twice there. Let's go ahead and look at some of those skills then, shall we? Again, there's still kind of a quiet laning phase thus far. His Q skill is called Chain Lash. Sylas lashes his chains out in an X-shaped area, intersects at his target location, deals magic damage, and slows, and then after a half second, magic energy explodes from the intersection point, deals additional magic damage, and increases the slow. This is kind of his best wave clear technique. You see me go top, but not really pull off any kind of a gank there on Ball and Brian. I actually thought in retrospect I should have flashed on top of him, and I think I probably should have done that. I think we could have gotten a kill if I'd done that, but it doesn't actually turn into anything there. So Anyway, back to the Sylas gameplay. As I said, this is the skill that's... Oh, wow. Jax actually flashes in. Does not get the counter-strike, though. And yeah, right there is the Q. Pretty easy to see. It's quite distinctive. Shoots out that X-shaped area. And we see in this game that Myth is maxing that first because it's pretty useful for wave clear. It's probably his only real wave clearing technique. So yeah, shoots out the X mark, and then a half second later it detonates. So you can get hit twice by this ability. I believe that people often max the W first on Sylas, but don't quote me on that. He's still new. People are still trying to figure out how to play him. In this game, Myth was maxing the X first, and I think we're going to see it here. So again, there's the wave clear, the initial X, and then the follow-up explosion. And of course, Myth gets that chain whirl auto effect. Chain whirl proc on his next auto attack after casting it. So he'll get it again. Watch when he auto attacks. He'll get the spin again. There it is. So again, that's via his passive. All right, let's look at his next skill, his W, Kingslayer. Sylas lunges at an enemy with magic force, deals magic damage, and the damage is increased if the enemy is below 40% health. Damaging enemy champions heals Sylas, and the heal is again increased if Sylas is below 40% health. This is his most deceptive skill. We're going to see the dash in again right there, and dashing right inside the cage. Myth does not have any mana though, so he's not really going to be able to follow this up. This is a really deceptive skill on the Kingslayer because when Sylas gets low, the heal is increased, and he can actually heal for a lot when he has this max. So you might see Sylas is down at like 10% health. Okay, gonna go ahead and use the stolen ult right there on Impolite as he goes back to base here. Sylas can be down to like 10% health, but when he uses the Kingslayer, he gets a ton of health back, particularly if you max this skill first. Not that useful in terms of wave clear, but like I said, it can make him a deceptively difficult person to finish off, so you do have to be aware of that. Also kind of a tricky skill to see. The visual effect is not as clear on this one, and it does have kind of a longish cooldown at 14 seconds. While that was going on, because we had bot lane shoved in, and because we had recently seen the jungle Jax up in top, we went ahead and snuck an Infernal Drake, and that was the most significant thing that happened early in this game, us sneaking an Infernal Drake, which would help us out later on in this game with the scaling effect. So let's highlight the Sylas E. This is Abscon Abduct. Sylas dashes to a location. It also shields him when he dashes. Again, very useful for a melee fighter to get that shield. Then Sylas can recast it to throw out his chain, pull himself to the first enemy hit, deals magic damage, and knocks them up for a half second. This is his initiating tool. So ideally, you will dash forward and then toss up the chain. So like we're going to see it right here. Dash forward, initiate with the chain, follow up with the Q, then going to use the E, and Impolite loses like 2/3 of his health right there. So Myth doing a really nice job of cycling between his skills. I believe he got off all 3 uses of his Petrocite Burst there via the passive. So he dashed in with the E. He dashed initially with the E, then tossed out the chains. He's going to look to do the same thing again, and Impolite has to flash that. Does have the Jungle Jax there for support, but ultimately not safe. Myth could potentially get the kill on him. So makes takes the more safe play, but his flash is down, and that will be significant coming up because he's still going to keep clashing up here in mid. So anyway, as I said, in that longer trade there, you saw kind of the basics of the Sylas gameplay. Oh, right here we're going to see dash in, use the Q, then use the E, use ignites, steals the ultimate, and then flashes and gets first blood right there. This is significant enough. Let's go back and watch this at half speed again so you can just see the Sylas gameplay. All right, so waiting. So half speed, let's slow it down. So dash in with the E, uses the auto attack, dashes in again, uses the Q, gets another auto attack there, uses the E, then is going to actually steal the ultimate, so flash in again and get another proc on his passive. So right there, Myth actually steals the ultimate just so he can get another proc on his passive. And also, you see the little spinning graphical effect? That is the Jax ultimate at work there. So he actually gets the Jax bonus magic resistance from that as well. So really nicely played, used all of his skills, even used his ultimate just to get another proc off of his passive, and then finishes it off with the ignite and one last auto attack right there. So really nicely done there, Myth. He said he didn't really know what he was doing, but you could have fooled me on that play right there because that was quite nice. Now let's set up the scoreboard again here, as we've got to do. There we go. So here Myth's trying to steal the red buff. Jax is revived. It is level 8 against level 5, but Myth is in enemy territory. So this is pretty dangerous now. Jax does have Smite, so that Smite is going to make it difficult to steal the red, and yet now Myth has gotten stunned, and it's a good thing that there's a blast cone there, because otherwise he would have died to the jungle Jax. I was coming up to try to support, but Myth ultimately just going to have to back, not going to be able to continue that fight, and it's going to be a disengage. So now that Myth's looking to back here, let's take a quick look at the lanes. Up here in top lane, Ball and Brian is out farming a Pwncat. He's ahead by about 20 minion kills. and that's the most significant thing that's gone up right there. No kills on either side, but a Pwnekat's flash is down, so keep that in mind. Over here in mid, Myth has gotten ahead. He's 10 CS up, and he's gotten a kill. In the jungle, I'm a little bit ahead. In particular, I got the Infernal, and wait, I'm going to go for a gank right here. So I'm going to look to try and Powerball and flash onto Ball and Brian, but we simultaneously flash, and that is going to be enough to get him out. So I actually thought that this was a bad gank at first. I thought I had screwed it up, but in fact, the only reason that that fails is because Ball and Brian flashes at the same time that I flash. And we're going to see a Pwnkat look to go in. He actually, yeah, he's going to use his skill. What is the skill? I never know Alawi's skills. I'm still not used to it. We're going to use the Test of Spirit, the E right there. But it's not going to turn into a larger fight. We're looking maybe to reinitiate, but the Veigar player impolite's there. And now Myth is going to look to set a trap, but I was saying on TeamSpeak, I was like, I don't think you should go into this, because it is a 1v2, and in fact, that's exactly what's going to happen. Jax is going to get off the counter-strike, yell all you want, pulls off the kill, and that was a pretty needless death from Myth, because we knew that the jungle Jax was there, just kind of straight up picked a 1v2 fight, and unfortunately throws away some of the advantage that he had, that had gotten off of that initial kill. I think the safer play there would have been, because we had pulled the Veigar up here to top lane, and because there wasn't really a kill opportunity, would have been just to shove a minion wave into the tower and then take a tower plate, and then that would have gained like roughly plus 200 gold as a result of the plate and getting additional minions. But went for the riskier and flashier play, and that time it didn't work out there. So just one of those things to keep in mind. Let's check in on bottom lane, because we haven't really seen too much of this so far. In the bot lane, Lord Donald Trump is ahead. He's not got a lot of minion kills, but does have, only 5 minion kills thus far, but it felt like they kind of had the pressure advantage in this lane throughout. Like, if you look, T-Rex is kind of low, and they've, mostly every time I've seen this lane, they've been back, the blue side's kind of been back defending their tower. So, and I miss a kill in top lane, unfortunately, but you see Yellow Yuant goes and ganks the lane, and together with Ball and Brian used both of their ultimates, got the kill on a Pwnkat. As I was saying, in the bot lane, it felt like every time I went down there that they were getting shoved in, and oh, Phoenix Soulblade's going to get rooted there, and it's, yeah, that's unfortunate. A nice binding from Morg, going to allow Misfortune to finish that off, so I'm going to now Powerball in. Unfortunately, I missed the Powerball, don't get that slow effect, and we're going to see MF flash and get the kill, and then use his heal. Now, I can still chase this down as Rammus, but unfortunately Veigar's there, and I cannot chase through that cage, the Event Horizon stun. So that's unfortunately not going to be enough. I thought that the gank really should have worked, but unfortunately bot lane was just a little bit too low, and you saw I missed my Powerball. If I had gotten the Powerball into MF, I think that that would have been enough to get the kill, because that would have done 180... Well, it would have done 200 magic damage. I think that would have been enough, and it also would have gotten the slow effect. So, oh well, missed out on that one, but what are you going to do? And overall, red team is now ahead by 3 kills, and they're ahead by about 1,000 gold in this game right now. Both of our teams were playing around the bottom side of the map because we both really wanted this Ocean Drake, and the big question was going to be over who would be able to pick that one up in this game. So, right now, let's check back on Myth again. He is, again, maxing his Q first. He's maxing his W second. 1 point is really all that you need in the E. Whether you max Q first or W first, E is definitely your 1 point skill, because 1 point is enough for that one. So, over here, more jungle hijinks. Again, both of us are trying to get to this, Ocean Drake, and trying to be in a position to fight for it. But neither one of us quite concede to get into that position. Yeah, so both of our teams positioning around this, and it's still kind of a standoff right here. So 2 top laners off on an island right now. They are not really involved in this fight. Neither one of them has a teleport up to come join us. So it's really just a 4v4 play in this area. Myth just clearing mid lane. Now bot lane is returning to try to shove this in. But unless one of us can kind of get a pick on the other, neither team's going to be able to do Dragon, barring some kind of fight. So Myth's going to look to charge in, does not hit on his chain, on his Abduct. Dashes in with Abscond, does not get the Abduct off of that. And going to look to try to, still would like to try to get that kill. Right there, yep, Jack's going to jump in, but again, Sylas has pretty good mobility, able to just dash out, and not really in any danger there. It's been a relatively quiet game thus far in kills, probably because both teams are on voice chat and can communicate more effectively than in solo queue. And still just about that 1,000 gold lead, and still just waiting on who can make the next big play. So we're going to look to go after Veigar right here. We're going to get a nice trade from Myth. He uses his 3 skills in succession. I wanted to Powerball in, but nope. Spotted on another ward. And in fact, Red Team was doing a really nice job of warding against Rammus ganks in this game. Right there, Myth is going to get hit by Impolite, uses the full Veigar combo. Unfortunately for Impolite, uses his Ignite and does not get the kill. And then this is super sad. I walked over 2 wards and then used my sweeper like a millisecond after I walked over both of them. So yeah, Red Team has full vision of me coming, and they're able to back off and not able to get much of anything out of that. So I was like, when I watched this on replay, I was like, ah. I walked right over these wards, and I triggered the sweeper like here, and it just missed both of them. And then both of the wards time out, so I never even knew that that happened. Oh well. Like I said, their team was warding pretty well. I thought that they did a good job of warding against jungle ganks and communicating as well on the team speak. So let's see what Myth has been buying. His first item is Proto Bell. I believe this is pretty standard on Sylas. It gives him another way to initiate on fights. It gives him more wave clear. He's a little weak on wave clear, so this helps him in that regard. Health, ability power, cooldown reduction, and of course that active that allows you to dash forward. All stuff that seems useful on him. And this item seems to be pretty standard on him. But we're going to look to try and gank mid again. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to flash. Implate's going to flash as well. But I am able to taunt him. And Mid's going to come in and get the kill. And then, oh, I make a terrible mistake and walk into the cage. And then I die to the tower. And, oh, what a bad death that was. All I had to do was stand there for a half second longer. The Event Horizon stun would time out. And then I walk away and we get the kill. I was like, ah, going 1 for 1 there. It was a nice play right up until I walked into the cage and took that death, so bleh. Would have been a nice play. Myth gets the kill. Definitely helps him. Wanted to snowball him ahead in that lane because I didn't want Veigar scaling up, but hey, I just gave Veigar +5 ability power by dying there, so oh well. Still trying to learn Rammus. A mixture of some good plays from me, like sneaking that early Infernal Drake, and then some bad plays from me, walking into the cage and dying like an idiot there. Oh well. So let's just check in on the bot lane again while we've got a minute here. Again, it's still very even in farm, but Misfortune has 2 kills in this game and has Rusty Infinity Edge, which does seem to be really the way to go nowadays with the rework to crit in patch 9.3. May change up in later patches, but for right now, just rushing an early Infinity Edge is the way to go on most auto-attacking ADs in the bottom lane. Up in top lane, just to get a check there, Aponecat and Ball and Brian still pretty even. Ball and Brian's a little bit ahead because he did get that assist, and he's slightly ahead in CS. Myth's gonna walk into the Event Horizon stun there, and ends up taking kind of a bad trade as a result because Impolite's able to get off the rest of his damage. If you're wondering what this little graphical indicator is, I believe it's how much longer there is until Myth can steal his ultimate again. There is, I actually didn't highlight his ultimate. I just talked about it. I never actually highlighted the hijack ultimate. So let's go ahead and do that because we've got, again, another minute here in the game. Or no, we might not because I'm powerbulling in here. Alright, so I'm going to powerball into Impolite, and I'm going to taunt him. Myth dashes into the cage, so it's not quite going to be enough, but now he's able to go after and uses his Q, and then that along with, I believe the W is what ultimately gets that kill there. So yeah, we are able to get that. Now, while that's going on, Red Team goes ahead and takes Ocean Drake. I really want to initiate here, but look, our bot lane, not there. It would be a 2-on-3, and we just used our ultimates in mid, so not worthwhile in that fight. So we trade a kill in mid for that Ocean Drake. I believe that the enemy team, the red team, gets a better trade as a result of that. I would rather have the Ocean Drake than 1 kill. But our bot lane was backing because, again, the red team did a good job of forcing our bot lane to back there, and so they were able to get the Ocean Drake as a result of basically the bot lane pressure. But at least we do get the kill in mid as a result. So yeah, again, we'll highlight the ultimate. So right now, when an ult is stolen, it changes to the description of what gets stolen. So look at this, Grandmaster's Might. Every 3rd consecutive strike, Jax deals additional magic damage. And we're actually going to see that right here, because Myth does pick up that kill there. And I believe that using the Jax ultimate actually helped him there. Sylas does get the bonus magic damage on every 3rd auto attack if he steals Jax's ultimate. And I believe that that triggered there. The other key thing there, the Kingslayer, healing for so much. Look at this. When Sylas is below 40% health, heals for 310 plus 72, so 400 health back off of the Kingslayer when Sylas is low there. And Myth still hasn't even maxed this skill, so anyway, good stuff. Now here I make another really dumb mistake. I go into the enemy jungle to clear this pink, and for some reason, instead of just powerballing out past Misfortune, I try to take this route out, and I walk right into Veigar, who I knew was coming from that direction. and then get blown up and killed. And again, just a terrible death. There's no reason to die that way. I could have just powerballed right past Misfortune. I mean, Misfortune, pretty strong, don't get me wrong. Let me go ahead and highlight. Does have 164 AD, but the thing is, I'm Rammus. I've got a Thornmail. I have tons and tons of armor. I do not need to worry about champions that deal physical damage. All I have to do is pop the defensive ball curl, and I get up to like, I don't know, 300 armor or something? Like, what's Misfortune going to do? She's just going to kill herself on my Thornmail. She's not going to hurt me. So, take a bad route and die. Alright, now right here, Myth looks to go and initiate. He has stolen the Morgana ult, and he's got a great chance to get off the Morg ult, except he gets killed before the Morg ult triggers, so oops. And admittedly, going in 1v3, maybe not the best decision. So the fight's going to continue. T-Rex is going to flash. Yellow U1 flashes after and gets that. But now Rammus is coming in. I'm going to go in. I'm going to taunt. My defensive ball curl is up. I have 500 armor while the defensive ball curl is popped initially. Yep, Rammus stacking that armor. So I'm able to get the counter kill on Jax. So that was probably not worth it. But on the other hand, their team is pressuring this tower. So Misfortune and Morgana doing a good job of pressuring this. Veigar has come down. We don't really have enough champions here to counter this. So it's just me and Phoenix Soulblade's Brand. So we really want to hold this tower, but it's probably not safe to do so. I'm trying to think about it, and then I get caught in a long-range Morgana binding. I'm going to get rooted. Veigar's going to ult me, but I get the defensive ball curl on just in time. And Impolite, oh, very sad. He tanks, he ends up pulling aggression from the tower because he used his skills on me, and then Phoenix Soulblade used a Brand skill that just managed to hit him, and so Phoenix Soulblade ends up getting credit there. So we lose the tower, but we do get one kill back. That said, still advantage to the red team. They get the initial kill, or yeah, they get the tower, and they're also going to get another kill here in top lane, as we see Ball and Brian using the cannon ult to get the stun, and then Yellow Yuant comes in and cleans up on the back end of that. So 10-6 now in kills. Their team is ahead by grabbing the first tower, so it's about 2,000 gold, and you'd have to say that they are currently ahead in the game right now. We were looking to shove mid here, but we didn't really have enough minions, so wasn't going to turn into anything. Still, overall, it's a good game. It's reasonably close. My team is behind, but we still felt like we were in it. It does help having the Infernal Drake because it's going to help our scaling long-term in this game. Just peek at the gold real quickly in this game. As we see right now, Ball and Brian is still trying to get more push on that top lane. In top, their team is ahead by about 1,000 gold, a little over 1,000. They're ahead by about 300 in the jungle slot. We are ahead in mid, where Myth is slightly ahead, like about 1,000 gold ahead of Impolite. And then in bot lane, we're like 1,000 gold behind in the AD matchup. Fortunately, Tristana will eventually outscale Misfortune, so we have that going for us in the matchup. And we do have the Infernal Drake as well. Up in top lane, though, that shoving from Ball and Brian is going to grab that. So their team's now ahead 2 towers to 0, and they're about 2.5k gold ahead in the game overall. Nice job clearing the minions there from T-Rex, so that they can't shove this tower. They're going to have to wait for the next wave. There is another dragon spawning. It is a Mountain Drake, and we fortunately have Scuttle Crab control, and we have a Vision Ward here, but it is going to be tough to fight for this. We would like to fight for it, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do so just because their team has more champs. I'm going to come down. There's still that top lane matchup going on. Was able to get the ultimate out of Kennen, but they have position on here. They're stronger overall. We kind of need them to make some kind of mistake, and instead it's going to be the opposite. I make a mistake, and I get binded here. I get jumped on. I do have the defensive ball curl running there, so that's going to help us. And meanwhile, watch this. Myth is going to sneak over here. He's going to flash in, gets the Proto Belt, so he picks up 1 kill right there. And now he's going to look to chase down and uses the E heal. So I misplay that fight really badly and get caught. But the only good thing is if Rammus gets... Oh yeah, there's the MF ultimate. MF ultimate used on the dragon. That's pretty funny. If there is one good thing about Rammus getting caught, if the enemy team uses all their skills on Rammus, that does mean that they're not using their skills on other more valuable members of the team. So I get caught, but Myth flanks in from the right-hand side and just bursts down 3 people, gets a triple kill, uses the Proto Belt really effectively, and that sets him off and rolling in this game. That is a lot of gold for him to pick up. I believe he got a shutdown on Misfortune there. So how much gold does Myth pick? Yeah, Myth is up to 3,000 gold, or just short of 3,000 gold, and we also get the Mountain Drake, somewhat shockingly, considering that their team really did have position on it, and their team was stronger. And that combined with, so one really good fight, puts Myth into a strong position. We've now tied up the game, and we got the Mountain Drake on the back end of that. So a really good fight for our team. Kind of against the run of play, as they would say in soccer, if you watch that. Kind of against the run of play. opposite to how the game had been running up to that point. But their team has revived. Our team, of course, after pushing over mid tower, now has to back to buy and spend some of our gold, and that is going to open up a chance for them to push this mid tower. So they are going to, I believe they are going to get that here from what I remember, but it was still worth it overall. 3 for 1 in the team fight, a Mountain Drake, and then we trade 1 for 1 on towers after that, with Myth picking up just tons of money. So yeah, he's gone ahead and rushed Death Cap for a second item. I don't know if that's the right item to rush second on Sylas, but it doesn't hurt. And now I'm going to catch out Morgana here. We're going to look to grab her. So ultimate stolen from Morgana. We're going to blast her up. A good MF ultimate right there. But we're going to see Sylas using that Morgana ultimate right there. So gets the stun onto Misfortune, and then that's going to allow us to clean that up. So just a great fight. We get the initial power ball in to initiate on Morgana. And at this point, we're like, wait a minute. Why are we shoving mid? Why are we going to try to dive a tower against a Kennen who still has his ult up? Let's just run and take Baron off of this. We just went 4 for 0. They have no jungler. Should be pretty easy. Oh, and guess what? We picked up a Mountain Drake as a result of that last dragon. So that is going to be hugely helpful in terms of doing this dragon, because we get plus 16% true damage to epic monsters like Baron. And that's going to allow us to take this. And there's really nothing that Ball and Brian can do. He wasn't there for that last fight. And we were able to win that one pretty decisively with, again, the steal on the Morgana ultimate, just really huge there. Myth got off a lot of damage as a result of that. So we really had just an ideal team fight there. The initiation we had, I don't remember if it was a 5v4. I'm not sure if we had a Punkat there. I think it was just a 4v4. Have to go back and watch, sorry. I don't remember whether a Punkat was in that fight or not. But we got the initiation. We got the taunt on Morgana, so she was not able to get off her skills. And wow, Punkat's kind of in a dangerous position here. Don't know about this. I guess he does steal some of the Raptors. But yeah, we got the initiation on Morgana, and then we're able to follow that up with the stolen Morg ult into the Brand ult, and then we had just T-Rex being able to fire in complete safety from the back lines, which is always ideal for an auto attacker like Tristana. So that puts us out to, what, about a 3,500 gold lead. We have Baron buff. We want to look to push with this. So we want to try to make use of the Baron buff. We were positioning around mid. Right there, we're going to get a grab onto Morgana. So we're going to get a lot of damage onto Morg. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and taunt Jax. So we're going to kill him at the start of the fight. However, a great Kennen ult from Ball and Brian is going to lock up much of our team and really going to split us. So I'm trying to get down here, and it's a nice Zanya's use as well. So we are going to look to try to finish off Kennen. Myth is going to go in. He picks up the kill on Morgana. He does get quite low there. And now we need to catch MF. I need to just grab her and taunt her. Oh boy, there we go. We are going to manage to get that off. Unfortunately, we do not kill Vigor, and then, oh, I'm walking into the cage again, but not quite enough damage to finish that off. So in the end result, it is a 4 for 2 in the favor of our team. A very bloody fight. Unfortunately, we don't really have a way to push at the tail end of this, because who is the one? I mean, we really need T-Rex to be alive to be able to push off of this fight. We only had Rammus and Alawi and Brand alive, so unfortunately not really able to use our Baron to keep pushing there. But we do win the team fight. We go 4 for 2. But on the other hand, their team cleared Baron off of 3 members of our team, so we aren't quite able to get enough off of Baron as we would like. And instead, now we're going to look to focus on this Infernal Drake. The Infernal Drake will spawn while we still have Baron, and so that's going to be the key for us. I kind of thought that we should have gotten a better fight than we did there, because we kind of caught out Jax. But really the MVP in that last fight, I think, was Ball and Brian, who got off a really nice Kennen ult. It split our team. He used Zanya at a really good time to stop us from being able to just burst him down. And he was able to initiate and get the kill on T-Rex. And then after that, we just weren't really able to push on the back end of that. Myth got a kill, but then unfortunately he got blown up on the tail end of that fight by Impolite and by Lord Donald Trump. So not he wasn't able to be as effective as I think he would have liked. So a one fight, but not like a decisively one fight, if that makes sense. That said, we are going to look to do this Infernal. Like, we're just kind of daring them to come and fight us because we still have Baron. And so, well, I get binded yet again. Number 1 Rammus. And then get stunned again. But fortunately, I am Rammus, and that's going to help. So Alawi almost gets the grab there. We are just kind of posturing around here. But again, I was like, hey, we want to fight. We still have Baron on 3 of us. We should fight while we still have Baron. So I'm going to look to initiate. I'm going to look to grab Morgana. Well, she goes in, and I am trying to zone away the MF. So I'm just trying to zone her away. We're going to get the kill onto the Jax. We get a really nice bouncing ultimate from Phoenix Soulblade, and then look, I'm still going to be just sitting here on MF, and I think I was pretty effective. I was able to zone MF out of the whole fight, so we do not kill Misfortune, but she is not able to get off her damage in the fight, and we were able to kind of catch Morg, the Morgana player, out of position, and so we cleanly win that team fight. We go 3 for 0, and we were able to claim the second Infernal, which is really big, not so much because it adds more ability power to us, but more so because it allows us to deny their team the chance from getting the Infernal, and I still don't know how that caught me. I swear, I thought that I managed to get through the cage before it activated, but oh well. Here, though, we have the numbers advantage, so I was like, hey, if you guys want to fight, we have a 5-on-2, so I'm just going to Powerball to try to zone them away. And at this point, their team has revived, and it's really not a fight we want to continue. So we're going to look to back off here, but we did get another tower, and we're just slowly kind of gaining incremental advantages. We haven't had like one big team fight that just totally won us the game, but we did have the team fight that got us the first Baron, and then we've just kind of been gaining advantages and like a little bit at a time after that. So like from this last fight, we got a second Infernal, and we got the inner mid tower. So now we're going to look to spend our gold, go back and buy, and continuing accruing more advantages rather than take a fight when we're all damaged. And their team has had a chance to revive and buy. So need to do that. Don't want to over push. Want to spend that gold and get back to base and be ready to live and fight another day. Alright, so let's look at Myth. Again, as I mentioned, he maxed Q first, maxed W second. Now he is belatedly maxing his E skill. I will say that it looks like putting more points in E does lower the cooldown. Does it? Maybe it's just more cooldown reduction. Oh well. So yeah, is maxing the E last here. Now I'm going to see Jax, and I'm like, okay, Jax, I'm going to catch you out. I'm going to taunt you. You can't escape from that. Phoenix Soulblade is actually going to pick that up with a nice Brand Pillar. And yeah, Phoenix Soulblade, by the way, 4 kills already as Brand. That is not such a bad thing because, hey, more ability power on Jax, more ability power on Brand, not a bad thing. And we see MF down in bots, we're like, okay, they can't really fight us because they don't have Misfortune there. So all we need to do is look to grab these guys, grab somebody. I really want to taunt Impolite. I'm just waiting for the Morg. There we go, just waiting for that Black Shield to run off to get the taunt on Veigar. So we're going to blow up the initial kill, and then I'm going to get ulted. I run to the cage yet again like an idiot, but we're going to be able to claim up Kennen, and we're going to be able to claim Morg, and I was able to take Veigar out of that fight. So at this point, we've gone 3 for 0 yet again, and we're like, okay, well, we could look to dive the mid turret, but hey, Baron's respawning in 10 seconds. Why would we dive mid? Let's just go take Baron. It's basically free. Jax is alive, but it's going to be really hard for them to come and fight 3v5. We are already ahead in this game. We're ahead by 6,000 gold. Let's, look to do the Baron, look to force a fight, and if they want to come and try to steal Baron, they're going to have to, fight when we have the numbers advantage. Phoenix Soulblade doing a nice job of trying to get vision down there. All right, so Yo OU1's going to have to make the hero play. He's going to try to come in, but Myth is going to dash in. He is going to look to, use that stolen Misfortune ultimate. Is going to get stunned there by Veigar, and the stopwatch usage there. So Myth is going to go in, and he's going to use that heal on the W. So double kill for Myth. Really nice job. Even if he had died there, it would have been worth it because he allowed us to get the Baron, but nope. Pulls off the initial kill using the stolen Misfortune ultimate, and then goes into stasis right when he's about to die, and then uses his W for the big heal, and now we have Baron, and we have a 5-on-3 advantage. Steals the Kennen ult right there, so we're going to look to go in. Again, trying to wait for that Black Shield to go off in order to taunt someone. I am going to pull off the taunt. Maybe should have saved it for a more valuable target, but it does prevent Morgana from escaping. So we're going to shove over the tower and the inhibitor. We still have Baron. And at this point, again, we could look to maybe finish the game, but the safer play is, again, to back and look to just go back. We've picked up a ton of gold from taking Baron. Look to go back, buy, and all of us are sitting on 1,000 gold or more. Myth has 2,000 gold to spend. Trist has 2,000 gold to spend. So again, we're going to look to make the safer play. This might not be as exciting as watching our team diving the double Nexus turrets, but it is the safer, the smarter play. You will see this if you watch professional teams. They take what they can get on a push and don't over push, and that's what we were looking to do. So Myth said, hey, I'm going to go and clear our blue buff because it's back up again, and we're going to look to get ready because there's another Infernal Drake spawning in about a minute. So we're going to use our Baron, force them to again either come and fight us at the Baron when we're, or not at the Baron, at the Dragon when we're 9,000 gold ahead and have Baron, or force them to concede the third Infernal Drake of the game. And either way, we just put them into a really difficult position rather than taking a risky fight at like their double Nexus turrets. Myth, in terms of his build, now has Deathcap plus Morellonomicon plus Sanya's plus Protobelt and Cirque Shoes. So he's at 670 ability power with the Infernal Drake, of course, kicking in the big 17% bonus. So he is going to hit super duper hard. Yeah, his chains hit for, now he just steals the Veigar ult. So he can use Veigar ult for like 1,500 damage or something crazy like that. Now I'm going to look to go in. Actually misses the initial toss in, but yep, uses the Veigar ultimate. And poor Morg, the Morgana player, there's very little that Morg can do there. Sylas is too far ahead, too much ability power, and anytime you're the support you get caught like that, it always feels really bad. Alright, so now we've picked up the third Infernal. That takes Sylas' ability power up to 700. And at this point, we can just shove any lane we want. And I believe that we were looking to go... I can't remember which lane we were looking to push. We just need to grab the minions in one lane. I think we're going to end up going bot. So right here, we're going to look to initiate. I walk into the cage yet again. Myth is going to get engaged on, and he gets blown up. So Myth, unfortunately, we lose our strongest member of the team, but I get off the critical taunt onto Morgana, which is the key, or not on Morgana, onto Misfortune. That is the key play in this fight. So we end up winning the fight. It's very bloody. It's not a great fight for us. A tremendous brand ult in there, which is doing crazy damage. So that ends up stalling out our Baron push yet again. So a game that, once again, really probably should have been over by now, but we've been playing it safe. And then in a situation like that, where we really probably should have just backed and grabbed the minions, we were trying to set a trap, but it turned out their team set the trap. They blow up Myth before Myth is really able to do much of anything at the start of that fight. And without Myth, all we can really do is go even once we lose Myth at the start of the fight. We're pretty lucky to go even in that fight, given that our strongest member died without really getting to use any of his skills. So 3 for 3, not a great fight for us, but we, didn't fall behind. I guess we gave away a small amount of our gold lead because they picked up the bounties from killing us. Nice play in that fight from Impolite, got off a full cycle of the Veigar skills, and you note he now has a Banshee's Veil to try to defend him against Rammus Taunt or against the Sylas steal of his ultimate. That's going to make him notably harder to catch and grab and, just finish off in quick fashion. So our team's still in really good shape. We're still, 8,000 gold ahead. But you can see that if we make a mistake, if we give the other team an opportunity, their team has been willing to hop on that and take advantage of it. So they were doing a good job of playing from behind, just looking for those moments where we overextended and, punishing us for it. And we were trying to avoid that, basically, trying to make sure that by backing in situations where it wasn't safe to keep pushing, trying to make sure we wouldn't get caught out. And so right here, going to look to try to grab Jackson. Oh, he gets off the counter strike, prevents me from taunting him. Probably would have been worthwhile to flash onto him to get the taunt off, because if we kill Jax, then it's an easy push into the enemy base. With 5v4 advantage, so probably should have just used Flash there, but instead, Jax gets off the counter-strike at just the right moment to prevent the Rammus taunt, and somewhat dissatisfied with how that went. Think I could have played that better. Jax was pretty exposed, and we really should have been able to pick him off right there. Right now, we are just kind of waiting for Baron to come back up, honestly. We can't do a whole lot because we do not have minions in the top lane, so all this posturing in top, not really doing much. There's no minions available to shove this tower. Now they are on their way because we cut the minion wave coming from the enemy team. So we do have minions on the way, but for right now, just kind of stalling around. Not something you really want to do when you're ahead like we are. You want to be building your advantage. And we're not really taking as good advantage of this inhib being down in mid as we should. But inhib, yeah, as you can see, the enemy inhib is about to respawn. But now we are able to go over here. Again, this tower is largely gained just due to the fact that the inhib is down. But we don't really want to shove in here. Like, look at this. They are defending this really strongly. So not really a place we want to look to fight. Instead, we might want to go look to take this open inhib, or we could always back and try to do Baron. But we want to fight in a situation, and once again, I walk into the cage. I don't know how many times I was stunned by Impolite in this game with his Event Horizon stun. So yeah, looking to fight in a situation where it's not so difficult to push in. The Event Horizon stun is down here though, so that could give us potentially an opportunity to push in here. Also, Baron is back up, so I think once again we're like, alright, go back to Baron again. It is the safer play. See, they have minions crashing into their top lane turret. They also have an exposed inhibitor. So once again, just go ahead and look to do this. We can kill Baron very quickly. And then we were like, all right, well, instead of doing Baron, their team's coming. We see they're coming because we have great vision. Let's not do Baron. Let's look to turn and fight them instead. And again, they're stuck. They have to come to try and check this. So we're going to look to fight them. Once again, I get stunned, but we are going to be able, and I'm going to get blown up immediately. Morg is getting off a nice ultimate there, but Myth has come in the back. He's stolen the Kennen ultimate this time, doing a lot of damage there. And we got off another great Brand ultimate. And right here, Ball and Brian uses his damage. Jax is going to revive. He's going to look to go in, but Myth, once again, finishes him off. I believe the Ignite is what ultimately got the kill there. And right there, going to look to grab the Morg player with the Alawi skill, whatever the Alawi E is. Can't remember the name. So not a great fight. Once again, I get caught. Play it horribly. So what do? We end up going 2 for 2 in that fight. We did get Misfortune up right there. We're going to see a Pokecat get stunned. So at this point, we're like, all right, well, we can't do Baron. Don't have Jungler. But maybe we can look to do the Elder Dragon, catch them there. this was a game where we were not doing a very good job of finishing it off once we got ahead, and a lot of that was due to me just really getting caught again and again and again in these situations. So we see their team is back at base, clearing minions, and so they're getting ready to look to do the Elder Dragon. Going to look to start it up. I'm on my way there. You can see Rammus can run across the map very quickly, so I will be there in time to smite it. And their team is not really in a position to contest this. So even though we've been flubbing these fights, we are able to grab the Elder Dragon. We have a 4-dragon Elder Dragon, so that's going to make us very strong. And I was like, all right, now let's just grab Baron. We've got the Elder Dragon, pick up the Honey Fruit for the health restoration, and force them to come fight us at Baron while we have the Elder Dragon. Again, with triple Infernal here. So Myth is... How much ability power does he have? He actually has less than before because he doesn't have Baron right now, but still sitting on a very high total. And of course, with that Elder Dragon buff, we're going to deal, I don't know, a lot of damage on every auto attack. So their team forced into a bad fight again. Myth is going to look to come in. He's going to try to steals the Morgana ultimate. We do get Baron Nashor, and we are actually going to lose Myth there at the start of that fight, but we did get Baron, and now we're going to look to try to come in here. I'm going to try to get the taunt off on Impolite. And I'm not going to get it, but a Pomecat is going to get the kill. Or actually, no, that time it was... Yeah, Pomecat gets a triple kill there. Although he, the kill on... And T-Rex actually gets the kill on Veigar. Not my best commentary here, sorry guys. So we lose Myth, but he runs enough distraction for us to be able to take the Baron. And with 4v1 here, there's not a lot that the team can do. We even have the Elder Dragon for the extra burn effect, so not much Misfortune can do. We will just continue shoving. We've got Baron, we've got Elder Dragon. We're going to look to go in here. Yeah, once the MF ult goes off, I can Powerball in for the taunt, and at that point, it's an easy kill. I actually end up getting the kill, so that will be the end of this one. Too bad we don't have Myth with us here at the end, because he really did a nice job of carrying us in a lot of these fights, but it is going to be the ace, and that's going to wrap this one up at 40 minutes. Ugh. Really should have wrapped that one up in 30 minutes, but a few too many mistakes. The one thing I will say is that even though we made mistakes, we didn't really give their team much of an opportunity to come back in that one. If you can take Baron 3 times, you might as well take Baron 3 times. Here's the gold totals. Myth did have the most gold overall in the game, 17,000. A really strong showing from our Brand player, too, from Phoenix Soulblade, 9-3-12. Brand doing a lot of damage in this one by the end of it. And on the other team, they had strong performances from Impolite and from Lord Donald Trump, who really did a nice job of just putting out tons and tons of damage on their team. Ball and Brian, some great cannon ults too, and some of these team fights. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. A chance to see some of the Sylas gameplay finally on this channel. Went much better than the Sylas that Myth played in the last video I put up on this channel. So some redemption here for Myth on Sylas. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys are having a great week. I'll see you again soon. Take care.